This episode of Ringer Reality TV Podcast is brought to you by Diet Coke. Let's face it, there are times when we may get a little too invested in our favorite reality shows. And that's when you need to pause and take a Diet Coke break to get back to reality. Shouting at your TV because your fave hate watch just keeps being nasty? Take a sip. Hiding behind pillows from too much cringe? Take a sip. Even getting a little too deep researching people's backgrounds? Please, take a sip. Diet Coke. Make time for you time.
This is The Pod Has Spoken, where we always threaten big moves, regardless of whether or not we actually make big moves. You'll have to stay tuned to the entirety of the podcast to see if we made a big move. I'm one of the hosts, Tyson, with Riley, who's been here every week, 100% attendance, no tardies, nothing.
Yeah, a real accomplishment.
For you, yeah. For Ashleigh and I, we do it. It's not even... No question.
Yeah.
So
me, it's, who knows? I got to keep you on your toes.
You have to. It's true. It actually does. As I wake up stressed, I'm like, okay, I got to remind our guests that we're on today, and I have to remind Riley. And so we're here. We have a friend of the podcast. Had such a delightful time talking with him in the past. We even have a text thread going, him and I, where we sometimes make each other laugh, I think. I think that's what we do. Is that what we do, Brandon?
We have a good text thread. One time we were texting and I was laughing, and my girlfriend who was in the other room said, "I've never seen you laugh like this at your phone." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not like, it's not infidelity. It's Tyson from the program. It's Tyson Apostol."
Yeah.
And I forget what that riff was about, but it really got me, whatever that was.
Was she jealous?
She was jealous. Yeah, she was jealous. I have to text you in the bathroom now. I put the shower on and I sit on the floor and I text you whenever I need something, because I don't want to cause a problem,
No. Yeah. And I can't be your girlfriend. I'm on the West Coast. You're East Coast. I can tell by your allergies. Face is all.
I mean,
I'll
move.
Move
if it comes to that, I'll move. You have a bigger house than I do. I could bring all my stuff there. I know my apartment. If I threw this Sharpie right now, it would hit the wall. Like it would hit the end of the apartment.
I do.
I
do so much to hide my mansion from the public eye. Like people don't realize that this 60,000 square foot house I live in is because I want to be a man of the people. So
sure. It makes you look less relatable. Certainly, if people get wind of that.
Yeah, of how giant this house is. So
sure.
I'm relatable still, I think, and in touch. I know what everyone's going through and have felt it myself. Probably.
I haven't talked to Riley since Riley's become a dad. Can I get the quick Riley like that? How's it going? What are we doing? How are we feeling?
It's great. It's great. My kid just turned 6 months yesterday.
Did you have a party?
No, we didn't have a party. I mean, we'll definitely do that for 1 year. I'm not,
because that's for assholes, dude.
Yeah, like
that was a test.
We take like a photo.
We're doing a 6-month party.
Yeah,
they do monthlies. There's monthly parties for the first year sometimes, dude.
Yeah, we don't want to raise a little asshole, so he'll get the annual standard birthdays is all he'll get. But it is awesome, dude. Like you watch like a baby grow up. It's like almost every single day they're doing something new, and it is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Love that. Oh my God.
That is the fun part. The first one especially. The second one you're like, oh,
whatever.
When was the first
second one gets no love. You heard it.
Really, just in those early stages. Once they become an individual and you're like, okay, there's differences between them. But the first one really is exciting. You're like, oh my gosh, they just blinked. I think that was at me. I think they blinked at me. They blinked at me. Rachel, get in here. the baby just blinked at me, and it was at me. I know it was at me. They're communicating. Like every single action the baby does, you're super excited about.
Dude, there was this one, like, I can't remember. It might have been like 2 months in, maybe a little later or something. But, we had him in the bath and he just started staring at his feet and like kind of moving them a little bit and like was just totally locked in on them, and then just started kicking and splashing them. And I'm positive that is the moment he discovered he had feet. And the first thing he wanted to do with them is like kick them and splash water everywhere.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was so freaking cool.
Was he laughing at himself? Oh, Brandon, you had this a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I had this day one of Survivor 45. It was actually it's filmed. You can go watch it. I was like, wait, what the fuck are these? That's baller. That's awesome. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, that is good. So
did I step on your riff, Tyson? What was your riff?
No, you didn't step on my riff. Mine was not as good, and just like almost worth skipping podcasts for,
Sure.
We've done these special edition podcasts where we talk about the fan votes, hands of the fans. I think we've determined there's a D on the end of fans so that it rhymes perfectly. It's the only way to make it clean. And we've broken them down. We've had guests on, and I talked to you, Brandon, to set this up a week or two ago, not knowing when the fan vote was or what it would be. And it's a single option. One single option, but it kind of ties into some other options we have. Haven't we voted on advantages already? So is this like, did they see that people were like, we don't really want advantages? So they were like, well, how few do they want? And now this is the repercussions of the outcome of that vote? Or was this planned from the beginning?
Well, it's interesting. I wish I could see the data of the.
Nobody will ever see the data. Nobody sees it. There's no data. Actually, you push the button and it doesn't go to anywhere or do anything. Like they don't even want the data because it takes up too much. It costs CBS extra money to save it on a server somewhere, so it goes to nothing. Yeah.
They're sharing the Google Drive with the new show, The Road, and The Summit still on there. Like they have the same shared collective data storage. We can't hold this. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the advantages, I understand wanting to underpower the advantages. But like the idols question, is there anybody who's going to vote no idols? Like it just seems like it'll be 90%. Like we want idols. You know what I mean? I like the idea of no idols, but
let's read it first and see if the wording gives us any direction on which way production wants to go. So I'll read the whole thing for us here. Okay, your last big decision regarding gameplay. Idols are a big part of today's game and responsible for some of the most dramatic moves in Survivor history. But for Survivor 50, you get to decide. Idols or no idols? Option number 1, no idols. I don't like idols. I want to take Survivor back to its roots. A very simple game where a reliable alliance was the single most important thing and could take you all the way to the end. I'm boring. Or, yes, idols. Are you serious? I love idols. They reward players who hustle, and they create uncertainty that can change the game at any moment. Same spirit, same vibe, I think. So it really is unbiased in its wording.
Sure.
Based on that reading, which one would you choose, Brandon?
I'm going to go with idols. I think I'm afraid to say I don't want idols to the idols guy. I don't want to be caught in a room with the idols guy.
But listen, the thing is that you know that your vote's not going anywhere because they don't have the cloud storage to catalog all the data. So it's inconsequential. So which would you choose if you just could choose?
Here's what I wish my punch up would have been to the Google form of the Survivor voting is on the Instagram story. You can put an option that's like a slider that goes from like, you can put like 2 emojis at the end. It's like 1 to 10. It's like, you tell me how many idols you want. Because I think like, oh, there's 4 idols or there's 7 idols is like more interesting to me, the viewer, than like episode 1 of season 50. You're going to see whoever, Rupert, going and finding the idol. And then he'll either be like, oh, it's not here. Or I found it. And then this vote is over. Like the suspension for this vote is done. Whereas you get like more bang for your buck if you give the option of like how many you want. And they didn't do that.
So you don't think Jeff's going to come out on day one and be like, here's the results of the hands of the fans' votes, and go through everything and be like, here's how this season is built. Here's what the fans wanted. Teal buffs, most important, and then other stuff. You don't think he's going to reveal those votes, or he'll reveal them as the season progresses, or what? What do you think
he's going to hand out a manila folder to each participant with all the votes, written out that they can take home with them to camp, that has kind of a schematic of what's going to happen each day. No, I don't think it'll even come up. I think it's like his spiel is like, the fans voted. You don't know. You'll find out along the way. I think the thing they did the best of these voting, whatever you call them, these options, was the Final Four fire making, because that really is like, I don't know how people are going to vote for that. It's whatever they want to do at the end of the day, certainly. But there is some intrigue. The Final Four is going to walk into that tribal council and not know. Like, that's super cool. But I think with something like this is like this suspension of disbelief is gone in 15 minutes, which is like, it's whatevs.
For the viewer, but in the game, let's say I am the guy that does find the idol. I can, once I found the idol, okay, idol's secure. Now I have to convince everybody that the fans voted to not have idols, so there must not be any idols around.
And that's money. If you're listening
until somebody finds a second idol.
Until somebody finds a second idol, and then be like, oh shit, I guess there is idols. But that still, it doesn't matter. Like, you've convinced. It'd be great if
everybody found an idol and they were all trying to convince everybody else that there are no idols on this season.
Yeah, that could be easily. So what you do is you have Clark from production pull everybody in as soon as they found an idol, and be like, hey, wouldn't a good play be to convince everyone that there are no idols based on the fan vote? And if you could get everyone like with that same idea and sept them with that idea right off the get-go, you could do it. There's a way you could probably get that to go.
I like that. That's money. That's a good punch up to what this is you got to lean into whatever the vote is. But if you find it first, you get to decide what you do with it. I wish, and the idols are going to be at camp, presumably. But if you're listening to this and you're part of the production, hide it at tribal council. Hide it somewhere new and fun, I think that's more, I co-sign if everybody has one at camp and you can maybe get one on a journey, fine. But like, season 40, the Adam Klein idol, which you saw in person, Tyson, I think that's a missed opportunity to like cash in on that. Maybe this is the opportunity to do exactly what that is. And if we're voting for idols, maybe there's 8 idols at tribal council. Maybe every prop is an idol at tribal council. We don't know. You just keep grabbing stuff,
All the log chairs.
All the log chairs, yeah. Make them heavy. Make the idols so heavy,
Yeah. Wasn't that your idea, Riley, to make an idol like a big giant rock or something?
Yeah, it's just a huge boulder.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with that. I remember that from this last time. Yeah, I think
like the idol. The idol is based on a percentage of your body weight, so you can barely carry it. So if I'm like 180 pounds, the idol's like 40-pound rock, and it's just like, fuck, it's a chore to move anywhere. And
like that thing.
But you can't. But like some people probably couldn't carry a 40-pounder. So that it's like if you're a little 100-pound person, then you get like a 25-pound rock.
How about it can at least like fit in your back? Like it's just like a giant bar of like lead or something. Yeah. Probably coated with something, so we don't,
you just put a Surgeon General warning on it. So
yeah, exactly. And so you have to like put that in your bag, and you're like dragging this bag to tribal council.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you got in there? Nothing. Just my stuff in case I get voted out.
They should tape it on the back of Jeff, like an idol. And then
you have to sneak around on Jeff, and Jeff is purposely trying to avoid you during the challenge.
Yeah. Like a kick me sign, like you're in elementary school. You're gonna have to just like, hey, Jeff,
post-it note.
I know normally we wait to get voted out to hug, but I'd like to hug you now. Yeah. That's cool.
Can we hug?
I'd like to hug you. Yeah.
If you ask Jeff to hug, he'll hug. Like, I don't think he's ever rejected a hug necessarily that I have known. So he'd probably take it. I had a little girl. So I was chaperoning my daughter's field trip on Monday, and some little girl, I think from a different school, clipped this. She'd made these little, the clips that you hang dried clothes up with, or to clothespin. She put a clothespin that she had decorated that said "I smell" on it. And then she clipped it to the back of me, and I turned around and was like, what'd you just do to me? And she's like, oh, nothing. And I pulled it off. It's like, I smell. And she's like, my sister made that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I smell good, I guess. And she was like, but she's like a fourth grader. And I was like, you chose like the scariest looking dude in the whole thing to try to pull a prank on. Like, that's pretty bold. And I think that scared her a little bit when I told her that. She immediately like left. But before, she was trying to play all cool with her friends.
She ratted out her sister quick.
Well,
Really
then I was
quick.
like, oh, I smell good. And she's like, I made these. Yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, I was going to say that. But instead, I was like, I thought you said your sister. I caught her in a lie immediately, too. It's like, I thought you said your sister. She's like, that's when I thought you were going to get mad. I was like, why would I get mad? I didn't say why the fuck would I get mad. That's what I thought in my head. But I was like, these are kids. So I edited it to say, why would I get mad? Who cares? So I minimized a prank so that other kids wouldn't have hurt feelings when they get that prank played on them from this bully. I got bullied. I was a victim of bullying.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Means a lot.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You should have
That's
stole her
okay.
lunch money.
Oh, but then I would have been no better than her.
Yeah.
This is the backstory you should be saving for,
Survivor?
season 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can
this is
have the
backstory
flashback.
package they'll show. Yeah.
So now what I don't have it is I already had to film a reenactment and stuff of it so they could flash back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And you got the original girl to play the girl, or you got somebody else? Who's the girl?
I didn't, just my daughter. I had my daughter play it so she could be on TV.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it was. I thought it's going to be a really cool moment, and it should set me up to be a fan favorite for season 50. So let's get back to this vote. First, we voted about like no advantages or low advantages or a ton of advantages. So is the idol not an advantage, or is it a super advantage, or is it a separate advantage from advantages, I guess? Are we quantifying it as a separate advantage from advantages?
Again, specificity into what kind of idol it is. Like there's like the Tyler Perry idol that's like overpowered to the final four. Like I would have liked more of that. All the idols expire after a round. Like maybe that's something, but this is just like, we'll figure it out. If you say you want idols, we'll do what we want with the idols.
Yeah.
It's kind of been
the vote
been
does
par
go
for the
anywhere.
course for these a little bit, where it's just like it's so vague. It's like what are we even voting on? Like how many? If I say yes, how many idols are they going to be? Like 12?
Is this exciting for people? Are people getting on? Like did people watch the episode and then the vote thing came up and people were just like clamoring for all their devices and have been setting up separate email accounts so they can vote multiple times? Like, is that what's happening, or have the people given up voting at this point?
Because I think this question is so like heavy and idols are so integral to like the fabric of the show. I think maybe this is more excitement than there have been in past weeks. But in past weeks, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're clamoring. I think what they really missed, which I've said this on open forums before, what they really miss is the open-ended response. Granted, nobody is reading them, but I just think that like, you have like, hey, here's the idol. Like, do you want this idol that we designed or this idol that we designed? I would have been like, hey, you design the idol and send us your name and we'll have a guy look through them. And the best one we like, we'll make, and then we'll credit you,
cool.
Like I would have liked, like if it's in the hands of the fans, let's get like, Doug from Omaha, like, and his idol that he made. I think that is a maybe better solve for like, two things that we did.
One step further, say, what's your idea for an advantage? Then you can steal people's ideas free of charge and be like, yeah, Doug from Omaha came up with this new advantage. We call it the Doug from Omaha advantage. And you can actually use it 3 tribal councils after the votes have been made. Just something so powerful that nobody can
just to come back.
They're like, and then blame Doug from Omaha for the worst idea that's ever been, and everyone else is free and clear.
Yeah,
You'd
dude. I
have
feel like
legends from this really, this franchise just so mad at Doug, and they're on the beach like, fucking Doug, dude.
Doug with
Doug
2
sucks,
ideas this season. Oh my God. Why did they listen to Doug?
Yeah. Doug
Jeff's
gets
like,
so
this
much
is what
hate
you
for
wanted.
weeks,
Yeah.
Yeah. Doug's a fan.
Yeah. But like, really, they could do that. Like, this would be a perfect moment for a giant think tank from the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and the fans have great ideas. You go to these events, you hear from people. People who love the show and they're thinking about it every minute. They've caught, whatever idea they have in their head. They're good, and I wish that there was some open-endedness to even the advantage question. Like exactly what you just said, Tyson, is like, hey, this person's going to go on a journey. They're going to have to do X to earn X. Like, you tell us what the X's are that you have. I think that's maybe for a future thing, that's what they do. But I would have liked that. And I think that is a little bit more, buzzworthy than what they did. But
yeah, buzzworthy. You could even submit it in a public forum and have people vote on it. So you could, like, how like there was a time when Oprah Network was like casting TV shows and trying to find hosts for TV shows, and they would be like, submit your audition video and post it to this thing, and then it's just going to go on here and people will watch them and vote on them. And then like that. So you do that, and then people describe their thing on Twitter, and then with the link to how to go and vote for it. Like, it's a whole thing. Now you're creating so much buzz.
Yes.
And
very much. Yes.
Yeah. We should be in marketing, Brandon Donlon.
I am in marketing. I do work professionally in marketing, but
okay. What about me?
I think you should. I think you've had a lot of great ideas. I think that clothespin thing, we can Shark Tank that. We can Shark Tank that tomorrow if we want to. We'd have to invite that girl, certainly, and her sister, but we get that. That's a marketing campaign. We're sitting on money, I think.
Wait, what's that? A product? That's a product that we're selling that says you smell on it? Because we used to we just used to use Post-it notes.
Well, it's so hard to tell somebody they smell in person that maybe a clothespin is
I know I didn't smell.
Better.
I know I didn't smell. I think she was targeting me.
Yeah. And we'll work this out in the pitch of what, Robert Hergebeck is going to say that in the Shark Tank room. It's like, well, what if you don't smell? I'm like, we'll have something for that. Maybe
it's not
the
about smelling
clothespin,
or not smelling.
Yeah, sure. It's about bullying is what it is. Yeah. Is that we're giving a tool to bully for children to bully other children. I like it. I want,
okay.
We can get a couple 100,000 from that, I think.
Hopefully, and just sell the idea without ever having to put any money or effort into it.
Yeah. We'll go to Lowe's. We'll get clothespins,
That's my goal on Shark Tank every time. It's just come up with a harebrained scheme that they just buy for $50,000. I'm like, I came up with that on the walking in. That's crazy. Yeah. I can't believe I just made $50,000 doing that. Okay, let's get to the votes. Sure. So, Brandon.
Yeah.
Idols or no idols? What are you doing here? What did you do?
I vote in all political elections. I did not vote in this one.
I'm really,
you are, and you've made that very clear. You've said that in multiple forums. I think that I would be inclined to vote for no idols because I want to see the people who are expecting idols realize they're not there. I think that's better TV for something that is the fabric of the show, is to see people who have these amazing idol plays who have been back 2 or 3 times because of idol plays. Like, I want to see them realize they're not there. Nobody's going to vote for no idols. I think you give a binary choice. Everybody who's watching this, most people have not seen the seasons where there were no idols. They know Survivor.
That's why I think they would vote no idols, because it's been so long and they don't remember and they haven't seen. Had we gotten the season like 5 years ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago that was no idols, then that's something different. Then that's a different choice. But I think that the fact that like a lot of people will look at this and be like, oh, they've never had no idols. Let's do that. Let's try that. They've never had no idols. Like, you will have people that will say that to themselves.
I do not want a season where everybody picked like the overpowered advantages and then no idols, because then that is Mario Party is what that, like, that's not fun for anybody.
Red shells constantly.
Yeah. It's like the idol gives you, like, you have to play the idol in an entire, like, with an intent to save yourself or save whoever, whatever. Like, there is, I think, not to say the the advantages have less skill, but the advantages I feel like are more random because they're random things being offered to you. I don't want that cocktail of a season. I think that sucks. So I hope the people that if they voted no idols, they also voted limited advantages, and then we just get to see like Survivor at its purest form for the 50th season of the show. I want that. I think that sounds more fun for me. But I don't think that's what everybody did. I think everybody probably voted idols and the most overpowered advantage. Wasn't the advantage question was written out the same as the idols question. It was like, you want you want them.
Yeah.
You don't want them.
Do you want excitement or do you not want excitement?
Yeah.
And
I don't
Jeff
want
was
you
reading
know what?
in his pumped up voice for
Sure.
that last one. Yeah.
Let's, Paramount Plus is, they make money. Like, I would love to get the people from, 20, 25 years ago, who maybe didn't make it to 50, who still want to play, and put them on like a back to basics 26-day season and throw it on Paramount Plus. Like, have it like old, and just like as a beta test, it's cheap enough to make. I would like to see that iteration of like an extra, like the challenge, the MTV challenge does it with like the challenge All-Stars.
Yeah. Just do a 2-week long season back to basics with all of your favorites, and people come back year after year in the summer season. I've often thought that. I've had people question like networks are stealing CBS talent that CBS hasn't used for decades, and CBS is accusing the other networks of taking.
Mm-hmm.
Create your own thing, CBS. And here's the perfect thing. My idea was to do same thing, same idea, Brandon. Take your favorites from Survivor, but call it Dream Team, and have them do like 2 or 3 challenges a day that are the challenges that will be on the next season of Survivor. And they run through them all. And then you get to see the challenges, but you also get to see all of your favorites doing it. And the game show is more challenge-based than strategy-based somehow in some capacity. And it's short. It's just a week shoot or something like that. And and then all your favorites are there for the whole duration of the filming, so that you don't like get everyone's favorite Tyson voted out first and then the whole season's a wreck.
Sure. Yeah, they may just cancel it. They're not putting a ton of money into it, but if you go, they're like, it's just, what are we doing? Let's just ship everybody back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So this way, Dream Team, Survivor Dream Team, or whatever, you get you do the thing the Dream Team does, is where you're actually kind of running through the challenges, but it's all your favorites from years gone by, and then they can bring people back year after year. And then when Bananas or somebody goes on the challenge for the 41st time, is like, I've been on 98 basic cable shows, and you're like, okay, that's cool. Well, I've been on 6 major network shows and 92 straight to streaming shows.
Yeah. You don't even need to switch the people out that do the Dream Team. They could be the 7 people, the same 7 people every year.
Yeah.
Who other than you and I do you want part of the 7 people? Like who are the other 7?
I think you and I are the mainstays, and then we choose our teams based on how we performed this season before.
Oh,
so
okay.
Draft order.
Sure. Okay, I think that would be good. I think that can
or we can
Riley
do a lottery draft. Yeah, Riley and Ashleigh can be there if they want to.
Riley and Ashleigh are there. Sure. I want Ashleigh on my. If we're going to do the draft, I think I want Ashleigh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted Ashleigh.
Right.
I wanted Ashleigh too.
Okay.
Sorry, Riley.
I'll take you, Riley. We'll teach
This
it.
will be part of my dramatic flashback.
Yeah, this is the moment, Riley. This is how you get on
Pick
Survivor.
last.
Like
No one believed in me.
Tyson has been bullying me for 5 years straight. And
So
it's
I'm
just
ready.
flashback after flash. It's like the whole episode in the middle of the season. Remember how they used to do like catching up before the merge episodes?
Yeah, a clip
This
show.
is a full clip show of just me bullying Riley on the podcast for an hour and a half straight, because they're hour and a half episodes now. And that might be the greatest Survivor episode of all time. If Riley's just like, and there's the time. And then there's the time he bullied me for becoming a new father. And it's just like a half hour of clips. And then it's
Did
like,
you bully Riley for being a new father?
No, I haven't bullied him ever. But I think if you spun it in a light, it could be perceived as such.
Yeah, it's just all spin.
That's very funny. My final verdict is there will be idols on season 50. There will be many, many idols in season 50.
But you're voting for no. You're voting for no, but your prediction is that there will be many.
That is correct.
All right.
I would vote for no.
Ashleigh, are you voting yes or no to idols? And what is your prediction for the general population?
There will definitely be idols. That's definitely my prediction. there's
Okay.
I don't think that this vote really counts, to be
Yeah,
honest.
like all the other ones
Like,
and like all the most
yeah,
of the votes in life.
it's already been chosen. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's like my normal brain that's like, oh yeah, no idols would be amazing, and like we can see the social standings of all the. But my crazy brain is like, I want a bunch of idols hidden in different places, and I
Max
want them to
chaos.
have and I want them to have like weird little tricks to them. So like, if
Yeah.
someone plays an idol, I want someone to be like, well, I have a different idol, and it's like a Uno reverse card idol, and it
Oh,
gets rid of your idol. Haha. I want something like
Mhm.
really crazy
or a skip a
and just
turn. Yeah.
skip a
Oh
turn
man.
idol.
That's
Yeah.
a good, reverse Uno idol. This idol can only be played after another idol has been played on the same tribal council, and it negates
Oh,
that
that's
idol,
fun.
but gives you something like that. Maybe it's
Mhm.
yeah, okay, okay, I like that. Uh, that is crazy. That would be a perfect write-in for like what kind of advantage haven't we
Yeah.
seen before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I texted you that idea before we started the podcast, Ashley. You worded it better than I would have anyways. Uh yeah. Riley, yay or nay to idols?
I'm gonna vote no. I'm gonna vote no idols. This is my protest vote against. I feel I had like pretty high hopes for In the Hands of the Fans. Like,
Did
thought
you
we
say
were
that
gonna
with a D on
get.
the end of
Yeah, I
fans?
said it with a D.
Okay.
Fans.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
It is tough. um, we've just gotten all these votes where it's like the options you get are super vague, and then there have been things that I wanted to vote on that we didn't get the chance to. We didn't get the chance to vote on, like, oh, how does the merge play out? Do we do like the mergatory or not? Or how many starting tribes there are, whether there are shots in the dark, like things like that. It's just none of that has been at our disposal.
Yeah.
And so it feels like this whole practice has been like kind of a bit of like a rug pull. It's like, you're going to control the season, but not really, because we're going to word everything so vaguely or make everything so obvious that you really only get to pick like the tribe colors and like the immunity necklace. So, I think that the vote will be yes, there will be idols, but I know that production, that's what they want. And so I'm going to vote no as like a protest of like this, this really wasn't what we were promised, I feel.
And are we going to see idols on season 50?
Yeah, I think we will. Yeah, I think we'll see idols. Like, I think that this, like most protest votes, doesn't really go anywhere. But,
Yeah.
my voice will be heard when it's like, hey, 12% of you voted for no idols.
Yeah. It'll be like, hells
That's
yeah.
us.
I'm so glad I waited in line for 6 hours, took the day off work,
Exactly.
and then went in to do a vote that wasn't going to matter in the long run. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I am also going to vote no idols. I think let's just switch it up. We've had idols for so long. We've had crazy advantages for so long. Let's just see. Idols are powerful even if they don't exist in the game. You can always lie about having an idol. You can always still manufacture a fake idol. There's so many options. The game has gone on so long, and there's been so many introductions to new advantages and stuff that you can pretty much, however creative your brain is, come up with whatever thing and sell that as the thing that you have in your bag. And so I don't think that that's having an idol in the game or not. Okay, maybe once in a while at tribal council it gets someone out of a jam, but for the most part, the conversation around the idol is the most powerful part of the idol plays anyways. Like once in a while you get like the double idol play on two people that something whatever, but most of the time it's just like the swirl of what if there's an idol, who has an idol, and then somebody being like, don't look at me, I definitely do not have an idol, don't. And then they're like, oh, he's got one. And then that's the whole play is like that. So I think that idols will exist either in spirit or physically. Let's just have them exist in spirit for season 50, and let's see how it plays out. I would like that. We might get that. The protest vote might be enough. It might be enough people being like, well,
yeah,
we didn't get to choose anything we wanted, so let's just go no things, and at least that changes what we've seen in the last decade and a half.
Mhm.
But who knows?
Man, if the no idols vote wins, they'll never do this again. They'll probably never do it again, no matter what. But this will be like Jeff's least favorite season in history.
Yeah, but he can blame it on the fans. He's like, you
Yeah.
guys, you don't know what you want. I know what you want. And this is proof. That'd
Yep.
be the best thing ever for them is to be
Yep.
like, we tried to give you what you wanted and we did it and you hated it. And so trust us, come with us. Give us, we already have your data now because you voted and had to put your emails in. So, yeah. Okay. So we're getting idols, even though none of us want them and none of us kind of are. Did you vote no idols too, Brandon? Yeah, you did.
I voted for no idols, but there will be an abundance of idols, an embarrassment of idols, I'm sure. Yeah, but I like that,
Is that
Bob
to make
Crowley,
us pay? Is that to make the protest voters pay for even voting no idols to begin with? And so they've already planned that if Yes Idols wins, they will put so many idols in play to just make us sick.
I feel like if the percentage for no idols is too high, like if it's like, I don't know, like a 20, 25%, yeah, maybe they become upset at the administration and then just say, hey, you all get one. Everybody gets an idol. And there's a box of 30 of them at Tribal that you have to find the key for. If you can get into it.
You get 30 idols.
Bob Crowley has a quote from Gabon when he's making his fake idol, where he's like, if you're robbing like a convenience store, like you don't need a gun. You just need them to think that you have a gun. Yes. So even if there were no idols, like I think that's fun. And that does add like a layer of strategy to the game. But like what I love about Survivor and what I've always loved is like the strategy and the social strategy at its purest form is just seeing people maneuver around each other when there's nothing happening, which I think I share the same sentiment with a lot of people. So an idol every once in a while, like I'm into it. But we don't need them. They don't like the show is so good without them. The show is great with them, but we don't need them. So if you didn't vote yet, this is my campaign. What really was missing from this marketing
Vote or
campaign
die?
also
Are you running the Vote or Die campaign for Survivor 50 fans, hands of the fans? I don't
want to die. I have a good thing going now. So if my choices are vote or die, I'm good. If you don't vote, that's okay. Like if it's gonna make me die if you don't vote. I'm so cool right now. I have a small apartment, but we're very happy here. I have a happy apartment. But yeah, I think that what was missing from this marketing campaign was like actively having people on the Survivor socials campaign for like this or that, just to give a little bit more stakes and to hear the arguments from each. Because I think the no idols argument is solid, and it like wouldn't it's why the show is so. The show for 11 seasons had no idols, and it was the best thing. I mean, it is the best thing on TV.
But it was had more viewers then than
it had more viewers.
But that's not why. But yeah, that could be the argument. That is true. You should have someone arguing or at least presenting both things in a positive light on social media. Like there's been some missed marketing opportunities here. For sure. All right. Well, hopefully the fans will have done right with their hands and voted correctly here. And that's our hope for the season. And we'll never truly know if our votes mattered or not, I don't think. But that's being a human. That's part of being a human. Anything else in closing, Brandon?
Good luck to you when you're there. I think you're going to do.
Okay.
Well,
we'll be on. We'll be emerging soon enough.
Sure. Yeah. I guess we'll see each other. You're in that text thread. Are you still in the text thread?
I'm still in the text thread, but I'm not in the other one. So, like, I know there's.
Oh, the other one. Well, the other one's all men. You're not in the all men chat?
I'm not in the all men new era chat.
Yeah. I tried to add. I got told I couldn't add you because you have an Android. They said that you couldn't.
No, I don't. I have an iPhone.
So they lied. Oh,
Riley has an Android. Riley has an Android.
Riley has an Android.
Yeah.
Riley, what are you doing with the Android?
How many text threads do you think? Do you think there are groups of text threads of players going out on 50 that are constantly just like spending hours a day scheming?
Well, I don't think so because I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this.
You're allowed to talk about that.
The rumored group is so varied in terms of like era. It's like I feel like there are people that are rumored that nobody would even be able to get in contact with if they wanted to get in contact.
Yes.
So I think that there's no like I don't think there's a bigger than maybe a 3-person chat. Like I think that maybe you get 3 people, but other than that, you're pulling in somebody who like has never heard of the people that are the other three in the group chat.
And you have to assume that anybody prepping for 50 is also listening to all the podcasts they can, which means they're listening to this, which if you're not on some text threads, get on those group chats, I don't know. Don't or do, I don't care. You'll probably be fine or screwed either way. Because Brandon and I have this game on lock. We're so connected with everybody and all the text chains that nobody is going to be able to make a move against us.
And it's fun to joke. I am not going to be on season. I'm going to be on a Food Network show in the spring of 2026 called Season 50, where you just season 50 of something.
You have to use.
It's a weekly competition.
I thought it was kind of creating the best spice mixture with 50 ingredients.
Oh,
is that
that's a punch up?
Because that's the show I'm going on.
Oh, you're going on. Okay. I wonder if it's in the same block, the same, like it's a TGIF,
Yeah.
I think maybe we use your season. My show is just you season 50.
You have to as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible, season 50 items. Yes. But your show sounds bad. Can I do your show? I didn't sign anything yet for your show. Or for my show.
I think if you do well enough on your show, then they might try and get you on for my show, season 50, where I've already got oregano, I've got some garlic, I've got pink Himalayan salt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Some cayenne.
That sounds good.
Some black pepper.
Who's hosting that show? Did they tell you who's hosting it?
Yeah, I think it is Gary Busey.
Sure. Yeah. That's awesome. That is
because yours is Nick Nolte, right?
We're Nick Nolte, yeah. And he keeps calling me. He's doing all the interviews himself for the contestants. He reached out on his own. But
dude,
yeah, they together.
How have we created two awesome season 50s programs? There's so many going on. Would that, as a network, would that be like a marketing steal? Like, okay, Survivor's creating season 50 and they're hyping season 50 like crazy. Let's create a show called Season 50, and then all of their marketing, some of their marketing will spill into what we're doing.
Yeah. It's going to be hell to Google it. You know what I mean? It's like if you Google it, you probably get us. You probably get season50.com with Gary Busey, and putting Gary Busey on like a press tour at this moment in Gary Busey's life, I think is a great idea. I co-sign that times a million is to get Gary out there. You can see the Gary and Jimmy Kimmel segment when they're like doing it together. It's like, so you have to, sprinkle it this way. I'm in. Listen, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. So you can catch Brandon on season 50, and you can also catch me on season 50, but not season 50 of Survivor. The shows are called season 50 on competing networks at the same time. Same season. So very cool. Brandon, thank you so much for your energy. Always a super fun time. Riley, thank you as well for being here. You've been here. You are slowly becoming my rock, but made of sandstone, but still a rock. Ashleigh, my true rock. Thank you for making us look and sound amazing. Next week, we've got the finale, Survivor finale coming up. That'll do it here at The Pod Has Spoken. See you next week. I already said see you next week. So I can't say see ya.